What's up everybody, it's the Inhuman one here, and today I'll be explaining the complete story of Dragon's Dogma 2. However, it's important to note the very nature of each Arisen's journey, although similar, is unique. As such, I will be focusing primarily on the main questline and cover everything from the Great Escape to the epic conclusion that the Arisen will reach along the way. If you're looking for the most comprehensive retelling of Dragon's Dogma 2, then look no further. But before we slay the mighty dragon, it's time to give credit where it's due. Kudos to RayVinciful1 for locating the Easter egg in the previous thumbnail. If you look closely, you'll see a Patience Wish Stone to the right of Dorothy's leg. If you're new to the channel, I've started playing a game with viewers where I hide an Easter egg in the thumbnail of each of my videos. The first person to state what and where it is in the comments gets a shout out in the following video. Now, back to the matter at hand. Dragon's Dogma 2 tells a magnificently woven tale of the most powerful force in all of creation, willpower. The major plot revolves around the never-ending cycle of the dragon and the Arisen. Every so often, a dragon manifests and begins wreaking havoc at a cataclysmic level that threatens the very world itself. While on its rampage, it seeks out a challenger worthy of facing off with it in mortal combat and consumes their heart. This person becomes the Arisen, who is granted immortality until the dragon is slain. The Arisen also has the ability to command a legion of pawns at will to aid them in their journey. These beings, although human in appearance, have no will of their own and exist only to serve the Arisen. The two nations of Batal and Vermund have vastly different perspectives of both the Arisen and the pawns. In Vermund, the Arisen is given the title of sovereign or king, and in Batal, pawns are regarded as harbingers of death, since their appearance typically precedes the inevitable devastation the dragon is sure to bring. It's important to note that these differences have resulted in a bit of tension between the neighboring countries. The story of our Arisen begins in the form of a dream, in which Captain Brant introduces the Arisen as the sovereign. The captain continues his speech, and just as the people raise their cups to honor their new king, time itself seems to stop as a booming voice beckons the Arisen to demonstrate his will, for that is the only way for this illusion to become a reality. The Arisen awakens from his dream in a Batali jail, where pawns are being forced to excavate the site. Fiska, the foreman, puts the Arisen to work and directs him to his station. Along the way, a crane is seen holding a strange artifact, and a friendly pawn by the name of Rook helps guide him to his destination. Any fans of the original Dragon's Dogma will surely recognize this chatty fellow. After Rook instructs the Arisen on how to move stones, a disturbance in the main area causes the foreman and his guards to spring into action. The alleged artifact wasn't a lifeless stone, but in fact a vicious gorgon who immediately started attacking everyone in sight. Fiska ordered the pawns and his guards to slay the gorgon, and after an epic battle, it retreated into the depths. During all the commotion, a mysterious cloaked figure compelled Rook to aid the Arisen in his escape with nothing more than a wave of his hand. Together, they sprinted towards a nearby cliff, rushed past Fiska, and leapt towards their freedom. The elusive Pathfinder rewarded them for their faith and commandeered a nearby griffin to guide them from Batal to Vermund. As they flew across the border, guards posted at the watchtowers fired a ballista and grounded the beast mid-flight. Sadly, Rook was unfortunate enough to land in a body of water and was consumed whole by the brine, an ever-present force that kept all weary of the murky depths. Although his physical form was compromised, he would return to the rift from whence he came. The Arisen met a soldier named Justin, who offered to escort him to the border watch post to recover from his injuries. When they arrived, a group of pawns greeted the Arisen and bent their knee to him, showing their acknowledgement of his status as the dragon's chosen combatant. After creating his own pawn in the rift, he was prepared for the worst. The show of loyalty shocked Justin, and he revealed that this age already had an Arisen who made his home in the palace of Vernworth. However, this simply couldn't be true. The cycle of dragon and Arisen was unalterable, and had existed as a perfect system since the dawn of time. The investigation on this matter would have to wait. The settlement of Melv had recently suffered a recent dragon attack and could possibly serve to jog the Arisen's memory. Ever since he awakened at the excavation site in Batal, he had been unable to remember the series of events that landed him in the jail cell. If he truly was the Arisen, visiting the location of a dragon attack would surely have an effect. Once the Arisen arrived in Melve, the dragon forced its way into his thoughts and caused him to lose consciousness. This was enough for the Arisen to regain his memory of the recent battle that took place here. As the memories flooded his mind, the Arisen recalled the encounter in vivid detail. He had fought bravely to defend Melve from the dragon's attack, and was killed in the process. The dragon then proceeded to consume his heart, transforming the unknown warrior into the Arisen. He was startled awake by Ulrika's friendly face. She had been present during the battle and tended to the Arisen's severe burns and wounds he had sustained. Before they could continue their conversation, a soldier named Gregor came knocking and requested to see the man who claimed to be an Arisen. He had been charged by Captain Brandt to bring the alleged Arisen to Vernworth to conduct an investigation, for many had made false claims such as these in hopes to become the next sovereign. After a grueling ride in the ox cart, the Arisen had finally reached his destination. Captain Brent immediately began his interrogation behind closed doors. Here, he revealed that he knew that the man who stood before him was the true Arisen, and the one who remained in the palace was merely an imposter. However, due to his station, he was unable to gather evidence proving this belief. In the absence of an Arisen, the consul would rule temporarily until his arrival. As such, Disa, the Queen Regent, and her family had enjoyed many years of prosperity, and she would take any measures necessary to ensure it stayed that way. Because of the true Arisen's anonymity, Captain Brandt asked him to gain standing in the community by carrying out heroic deeds that would elevate his status. This would increase his likelihood of being invited to the upcoming coronation of the false Arisen. After calling a Saurian infestation in Har village, among other deeds, word of the Arisen's achievements spread throughout the land. With the invitation intact, it was time to devise a way to publicly reveal the current sovereign was nothing more than a farce. In the cover of the night, the Arisen infiltrated the palace and found evidence that Queen Disa had abducted him after Melve was raised, erased his memories with a curse, and sold him as a slave to Batal. He also made allies in Sven, who was revealed to be Queen Disa's son, not some troublemaker running around in the city streets, and also Lady Wilhelmina. Both of these individuals would prove invaluable in securing a disguise for the coronation and obtaining information about a foreign magic known as the Godsway. The mysterious Lord Phasis seemed to be tied to Queen Disa's plot, but his role in the larger narrative would be unveiled at a later time. The only question that remained was the imposter Arisen's true identity. The Arisen was pointed to a nameless village where the Thief Guild watched from the shadows. He eventually found the Meister of the Thieves, who revealed that he was aware of Captain Brandt's plan as well as Disa's manipulations. However, he would reveal nothing more in honor of his code to remain neutral. The Arisen was not convinced by the act and located a secret passageway leading to the village depths. Inside, he found the true Thief Meister, Srael, and gathered all the evidence he needed to interrupt the coronation. The imposter was actually a former member of the Thieves Guild by the name of Dara. He had conveniently suffered a chest wound around the same time of the Arisen's abduction and was hired by Queen Disa to serve as an imposter. It didn't take long for the perks of the job to go to his head, and he quickly discarded the notion of neutrality. The Arisen reported this information to Brandt, and together they prepared for the coronation. As they approached the threshold of the door, the Arisen's pawn fell to her knees. She felt an unnatural force infiltrating her mind, commanding her every action. Noticing his greatest ally in distress, the Arisen and Captain Brandt retreated far away from the dark magic. This was the power of the Godsway, and now Queen Disa and her puppets had the ability to control pawns at their will. It was time to discover the secret behind the Godsway and determine exactly what it was and how it was tied to Lord Phasis' mysterious arrival. Their next destination was Batal, but its strict border policies only granted passage to those with entry permits. After obtaining the necessary documentation, the Arisen arrived in Batal, where the Pathfinder appeared once again to provide guidance on where to venture next. His path led to Ambrosius, a sorcerer who was quite learned in forbidden magic. Once he met with the Arisen, he discussed the power of the blue shards dotting the coastline and explained that these were used to emulate the Arisen's power to control pawns. However, he didn't have all the answers. Ambrosius was unaware of their origin, so he tasked the Arisen to visit with the Dragon Forged and the Oracle to learn more. The Dragon Forged was found in a nearby cave. He shared that he was once an Arisen who had lost his will to fight. As such, he had remained immortal and dedicated his life to studying the power of the Worm's Life crystals, which were shards of immense power obtained from drakes. He lacked any knowledge of Godsway, but he had met with a sorcerer named Phasis who wished to alter the will of the world through mortal means only days before. The Arisen took this information and made his way to the Oracle. Once he arrived at the reverent shrine, the Oracle introduced herself as Luce, yet another former Arisen. She shared her visions of a shrine beneath the sea and directed the Arisen towards Harv village. Here, he would find the answers he sought regarding Godsway and the dark secret of their existence. After speaking with the Rivage Elder about the legend of a sunken temple in the sea, it rose to the surface as if on cue. The entrance was found in Stormwind Cave, where the Arisen had dealt with the Saurian infestation earlier in his journey. Once he arrived at the seafloor shrine, he met with a phantom by the name of Rothias. Rothias was a Beastren who once held the title of Arisen and conquered the world. He would become known as the Mad Sovereign after his tragic downfall and descent into madness. Rothias revealed that the blue shards were actually the fractured souls of fallen Arisen, and gifted the current Arisen a dulled Godsbane blade forged from his very soul. The Arisen delivered this Godsway to Ambrosius back at the Forbidden Magic Research Lab and was tasked with obtaining 15 Worm's Life crystals in order to activate its latent power. After slaying a dragon with the help of a mysterious warrior named Sigrin, who also proved to be a former Arisen, he returned to the lab with the crystals in hand. Ambrosius asked the Arisen to return in the morning once he had finished activating the Godsbane blade, but he had no intentions of handing over a Godsway of unparalleled quality that easily. He wished to deliver it in secret to Lord Phasis, so that he could achieve his goal of controlling the dragon itself. However, the Pathfinder had other plans, and intervened at just the right moment, forcing Ambrosius to relinquish the legendary armament. The Arisen's journey was nearing its end, and his fate would be determined at the Moonglint Tower. On his way there, Phasis passed through the spell-sealed door, and made his way to the same location, the singular point where his ritual to change the hollow order of the world could take place. As he trekked along the way, a massive golem known as the Guardian Gigantus awakened from the depths of the sea in an attempt to intercept the sorcerer. The Arisen stopped the stone giant in its tracks and returned to the location where his journey had begun. Back at the excavation site, he faced off with the imposter Arisen and made quick work of the spineless puppet, but he was too late. Phasis had already completed the ritual and summoned an imperfect dragon that awaited his command. Before he could celebrate his accomplishments, the true dragon emerged from the clouds, crushed the lesser drake, and foiled Phasis' plans without so much as lifting a finger. With the would-be saboteur out of the way, it was time for the prophesied battle between the dragon and the Arisen to begin. The challenge was accepted, and the fated duo engaged in mortal combat. After an epic clash of the two nearly unstoppable forces, a victor emerged. The Arisen had slain the dragon. In his final breaths, the dragon warned him that willpower served as a means to fulfill the cycle yet again, but all events, even his own death, were preordained by a greater power. Could this Arisen prove different and break the cycle once and for all? With this message in mind, the Arisen returned to Vernworth, where he was named Sovereign. As he walked towards his prize, he felt a sense of accomplishment in his chest. He took his seat at the throne and watched as his people carried on with the celebrations. All would be well until the next cycle began anew. But something was amiss. Amidst all the commotion, he had barely noticed the Pathfinder's presence at the ball, ever watchful and ever mysterious. The Arisen felt a sense of dread as he realized that the burning sensation in his chest wasn't pride, but fear that he had made the wrong choice. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know you want more content just like this. Click on these videos on screen to continue your journey to the true ending of Dragon's Dogma 2, and I'll be there to guide you when you arrive. Consider becoming a member for exclusive perks like emojis, members-only videos, and more. Or check out my Ko-fi page if you want to support me in a more personal way. Until next time, it's the Inhuman One, signing out. Join the Inhuman community today.